goes down smooth.
Business from scratch.
Alright everyone, welcome back to this series. If you're still here despite that terrible joke, that terrible intro where I dirtied a mug that I never use for a random bit that I thought of 2 seconds before I started filming. Again, welcome. If you're new to this, this is a series where I just go through my process of becoming a new business owner and just sharing what I learned from it and hopefully being able to help you with starting your own business. Now, at this point in the series, the expectation is that you are serious, you want to do this, you are ready to move forward with your business. Like it's no longer a joke like I discussed in the last video. You know what you want to do, you know why you want to do it, you're ready to do it, you're ready to invest both your time, your money, you're ready. Now, a lot of this stuff isn't particularly exciting. It's more so just a lot of, administrative tasks that you need to do in order to start a business. So the first thing I want to talk about is you gotta register your business name. This is through your state. So I don't know what it's like for all 50 states. I'm only registered in the one. But I assume that there's a website for your state out there. For Michigan, I know that specifically there is a site that you go to and you have to fill out Form 700. This basically just, it's start doing your business. That's if you're doing an LLC. I should definitely mention different business structures. If you're starting from scratch and you're by yourself, the two most likely that you're going to do is sole proprietorship or a limited liability corporation or LLC. What are the differences between the two? Why would you want to choose one over the other? Sole proprietorship, this is if it's purely just you and you have no intention of having anyone else ever. It's low cost, it's easy to start, like you literally you just start working and that's it. As long as you're registered and you got everything figured out, that's it. Very few administrative tasks that you have to do, and administration is very low. Cost is also very low. There's almost no additional cost to file or to keep things running. Taxes are also very easy when you're filing taxes. You know how there's a little checkbox for personal income. That's where it all goes. So taxes are easy. The biggest problem with sole proprietorship is there is no liability protection. What does this mean? Well, say your company gets sued. I hope that never happens, but say you get sued. Let's use my company as an example. Someone buys one of my baked goods, they get sick, they think it's my fault, and they sue me. If I am a sole proprietorship, not only is my business at risk, but also my personal possessions. So this could mean your home, your car, this could all be at risk if you are a sole proprietorship. Now, if you're in a business where you're not expecting to get sued often, maybe go for a sole proprietorship. So that's the one big downside for sole proprietorship. There's also a risk of people thinking that you're less professional. I don't know how often that would come up. Like if you have a business, you're well established, you know what you're doing, people aren't going to care if you're an LLC or a sole proprietorship. I don't know. People are weird sometimes, so keep that in mind. It's also harder to get funding or loans as a sole proprietorship, so keep that in mind. Now, with an LLC, there are some costs. So I mentioned filing in Michigan, you have to file Form 700. So you go to that site, file that. It does cost $50. It costs more if you want to get it filed faster. For example, I just thought it was funny where if you wanted to get it within less than 24 hours, it was well over $1,000. So basically the fastest shipping ever. I just thought it was funny, but there are costs. And then there's also a $25 fee to basically keep that active, keep your LLC up and running and registered with the state. I have not been open that long, so I'll let everyone know what that's like when it comes around. Very minimal cost, right? Very easy to set up. There is a bit more administrative upkeep, of course, with that. Taxes can be a bit more complicated depending on what type of LLC you have. Some other things about an LLC is that it is easier to grow, right? So if you want to bring more people in, you can do that either as owners or as employees. Super easy to do. And then the big thing that I mentioned, liability protection. An LLC does work. So if someone sues my business, again, hoping that doesn't happen, but if it does, now only the company's at risk. That's it. And let's not forget the more professional look. Again, I don't know how often this comes into play, but at least now I know I'm more likely to get a loan, or certain customers are more willing to purchase from me. So again, in Michigan, Form 700. I do want to mention that you would need to file an additional form if you're doing business under a different name than your LLC. So my LLC is called Butter.
Hey, future Ben here. I just wanted to echo something that I mentioned in my previous video, but something I forgot to mention in this video, and that's the use of AI. It's especially useful for filling out these forms that I'm going to go over today, just because they are filled with a plethora of different jargon and government terms and all that lingo that doesn't make any sense. So using AI to translate that into people speak was actually extremely helpful. For example, I did not know what a resident agent is, and that's something you need to designate in Form 700. I had no idea what that meant. I thought it was talking about Cody Banks. It is not. It is just who your point of contact is for any legal or government communication. Anyways, back to the video.
Our Ben's LLC. So if I did anything under a different name, I would have to file a form for doing business as, or DBA. So if I suddenly did like Greg's birthday bourbon, yes, let's run with that. I would need to file that, but my packaging is going to have Butter Ben's on it. I don't need to worry about that. I could even do like Butter Ben's Bakery if I wanted to, and that would also work. We registered your business name. They say it takes 10 business days. I got it within one. Maybe a lot of people weren't forming businesses at the time when I filed, but it was super easy. You'll get an email. You'll also get a letter later in the mail. But it was super easy. But you don't have to wait for confirmation before starting the next step. So your EIN needs to be filed through the IRS. So this is super easy. You go to the IRS website and you click on get an EIN. You go through the whole process. It takes about 15 minutes. It was super easy. It doesn't cost any money, so be aware of that. I have heard of scams for EIN. So if you find yourself being charged, you're probably not on the right IRS website. Although the next thing you need to do is you want to set up your sales tax with the state that you are selling in. Again, it's just another form you got to go through. I remember this one took a little bit longer, but overall it wasn't too bad. Yeah, sales tax is important. So setting up your bank account, this is something I recommend for everyone to do, even if you're a sole proprietorship. This will just allow you, especially for taxes, make it very easy to track all your expenses that are business related. You don't want to have to like look through and be like, oh, was this expense for a personal reason or business reason? You have to go line by line, calculate it all. This just makes it super easy so you can track all your expenses and be able to input that into when you have to do taxes. And when looking for a place to do business, there are several different options online that you can choose. You can also choose your own bank. If you want, you could choose a different bank. What you want to look for when picking a bank, especially for a small business, is you want a bank that has very low fees. No fees would be best, and then also low minimums. Most banks say like, oh, you need $5 in order to keep this bank account open, and you don't want to choose a business account that would require a ridiculous amount of money to keep it in, right? And then you also don't want a bank account that you have to keep like paying fees for, because then that's just another expense you always have to deal with. So no fees or minimums, that's what you want to look for. You also want to look into other benefits that certain bank accounts have, but yes, definitely get a bank account. The benefits are way better as opposed to just keeping everything on your personal account. You also, when setting up a bank account, you also want to be careful about what you need to set up the account. If you're doing online, I'm sure it's a lot easier, but if you're going in person to set up the account, then just make sure you know what you have to bring. For me, I needed my LLC registration form, I needed my EIN form, and then also my personal ID, which that one is of course easy to have, but making sure that I had the other two, along with just making sure that I did not need anything else to set up this account, just so I didn't have to postpone setting up this bank account. Just do your research, even just reach out and ask, okay, what do I need to set up this bank account beforehand, especially if you're doing it in person. It just makes it a lot easier. At this point, if you have been following along, you are well on your way to starting a business. Still lots to do, but yeah, at this point I would say I am definitely invested. I am doing this, it's going to happen. I'm being able to tell people LLC's registered. Alright, yeah, this is happening. It's very cool. See you in the next one.